Third gen
4Runner
video. Quick story time. I'm not going to do it because I've already done it, but this stumped me for a little bit. So I drove the car and then I got home and I parked, turned off the car, and I was checking some fluids or something. And then I looked, this upper radiator hose was collapsed, like fully just flat and collapsed. So I started researching
and Googling.
And the two most common things that you are going to be told are change the radiator cap and check to see if the overflow tube is clogged. So I was like, all right, easy. I'll get the OEM radiator cap,
Treat myself to that.
and I'll take off the overflow tube and, blow through it and look up in the light and make sure it's clear. So did that, still nothing. Every time I turned off my car, this upper radiator hose was collapsed. So I logically got a new upper radiator hose. And lo and behold, that was the issue. And I'll tell you why. The old hose was so soft from years of heat cycling that it lost its structural stiffness. Most of the coolant is in the engine. So you drive the car and the coolant gets hot in the engine. The thermostat opens and starts cycling it to cool off and dump heat. So because the coolant expands when it's hot, it needs somewhere to go. So it goes into your overflow. When the coolant expands, forces past the radiator cap and through the overflow hose into your overflow tank. Okay, great. So when you shut the car off, coolant then cools off and contracts. So there's a dip tube in here, and when the coolant contracts, it's going to get sucked back from your overflow, back through the overflow tube, through the radiator cap, into your radiator, and, back towards the engine. So in that whole series, the soft hose was a weak link. It was so soft when the coolant contracted, that pull, that suction back into the engine just collapsed the hose. Therefore, and so let me go all the way back to the beginning. I knew something was up because 1, the collapsed hose, and 2, my overflow tank never changed levels. It's always stayed at one level. It should adjust up and down depending on how much is going in and out of the overflow tank. So basically, this would collapse first and not allow the coolant to get sucked back into the engine. So it might seem obvious, but you're going to get a lot of people and forums and stuff telling you to do the
radiator cap
and the overflow tube and not the upper radiator hose, but do the upper radiator hose. This is not a Toyota genuine part. This is a Gates, and I used Gates for both my upper and lower radiator hoses. I changed this one out, and then when I did my timing kit, I changed the lower one out with the Gates. So I will put the links for those down below. But if you're having this issue of collapsing radiator hose, then definitely consider the hose itself. All right, I'm beating a dead horse here, but the other thing was I will put up a screenshot because I don't have it on hand. But when you change this hose, you're going to open the cooling system, so you're going to lose some coolant. Then when you put the new one on, you're going to have to re-top off your cooling system. So what I recommend is one of those no-spill coolant funnels that temporarily takes the place of your radiator cap. It sits right here with its own phony cap, and you can basically fill your radiator all the way up and then pass into the funnel to get all the air out. So I use that all the time. If you don't have one, then I definitely recommend getting one of those. So yeah, that's it. It's also a good time while you're checking your radiator hose, especially if it's original, to look at the bottom to see if the little plastic piece is broken off, because that's what they do. They break off, and usually they go into your radiator. I had one in my radiator for tens of thousands of miles, and it didn't cause me any issues, so I wouldn't worry about it. But if yours is broken off, then pick up a new one. All right, so that's it.
Subscribe.
Check out my other 4Runner videos.
Third gen, best gen. See ya.